Yo, this chapter of Shokugeki no Soma, I can't even.
Pleasure. 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 Pleasure.
What's going on, people? Mr. Anti-Lock here, back with the epicness that is Shokugeki no Soma chapter 98. Things accumulated. Now, the thing I love most about this chapter, the first page starts off, we got the little Kurokiba, the little Soma, and the little Hayama, which I thought was kind of epic. Immediately when I saw that page, I felt like I was getting an epic backstory. Continuing on to the second page, we see that Soma gets that extra push from the vision of his dad telling him, "You better not lose to me," which drives Soma through this whole thing because we all know that he wants to take over his dad's restaurant. Fun fact, Leonora Nikuri is a cougar, and we got to see that showcased by Alice when she was sitting at the table, the judging table with her mom, and might I say her mom is pretty hot. We got that epic panel where Soma is doing his thing with his pike, and we got Kurokiba and Hayama just staring at this dude like, what the fuck are you doing? They seem intimidated because in the beginning of this battle, they didn't think that this man was gonna be a threat. Really though? Soma? Not a threat? Come on, bro. I mean, granted, that man didn't know how to judge fish. But did you think Soma was just gonna be like an easy defeat? Like, come on, bro, this man's at the same level that y'all are at. This man just defeated Mimasaka, the man who has beaten over 100 students and took their tools, the Shadow Master. He defeated this dude. I ain't gonna say like it was nothing. It took him a lot of trial and tribulation, like what Soma does, but he still defeated him. And y'all thought he was gonna be like a pushover? Now they're like, I don't know, this dude might be a threat. I don't know what his fish is covered in. I don't know what application this man is gonna use. So then he's like, if you're that curious, you could just watch the player. I thought that was epic. Page 6. And this is the Manga Doom translation because apparently, since I use ad blockers on my computer, I can't get Manga B on there anymore because I'm not trying to catch any viruses. But anyway, we get this epic panel, to me, of the Demon Soma. First, I got excited when he was battling Mimasaka. We had Soma Clown. Now we got Demon Soma, bro. Like, that shit is so epic to me. We got my man, Kurokiba, making an aquapaza. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a seafood stew. And what aquapaza reminds me of, it's a chipini, the soup that was created in San Francisco. It's a fisherman's soup, and what they would do is, with the catch of the day, whatever fish or shellfish that they caught for the day, they would bring it home and make a tomato base and olive oil soup. So basically, this aquapaza reminds me of chipini. I'm just saying though, I could do that because I'm a chef. Not only that, the judges were a little worried that, you know, because he's using the strong shellfish, that it might overcome this dish. It might overcome the pike. But guess what? What you didn't know, which my man Gendo Shima pointed out, was that though those are some overbearing ingredients, since the pike is in season, it will become the star of this dish, which blew everybody's mind, including my own. Funny thing, Leonora Nikumi, as old as she is, she's probably like in her 40s, which ain't too old for me. But I'm just saying, Erina called her Obi-san, and she was like, how rude, how dare you call me someone's grandmother? She's like, no, I'm calling you auntie in Japanese. Get your game up, shorty. Get your game up. Then, page 10, Manga Doom translation, we get the beginning of an epic backstory of Alice and Kurokiba. Now, what I found funny about that was that she had that little whole, how much is that doggy in the window kind of thing, 'cause she's like this, I want him. Like he was like a puppy, like a stray puppy in like a shop. Like a stray puppy in PetSmart. But anyway, she's like, can I bring him home? And she's like, we gotta ask your father first. He's like, don't talk about me like I ain't here. And then we got that small little panel. We got the small little panel of the dog in the little box. And what's so crazy, he is called the Mad Dog Kurokiba. So all of that together is kind of hilarious to me. Now, he said he wouldn't be her aide. He wouldn't be some rich girl's lackey servant. But she was like, you will respect me. And you will battle me. And I will battle you for your respect. And 2 years of battling. Out of 2 years of battling, he finally won one. But what I do like to point out is that you had to love how you got to see Kurokiba go like berserk mode like in the early days. And Alice was just looking at him with such a great smile and like interest. And she was like, if I win, you will be my new puppy, okay? Epicness. And you know something? After 2 years of her defeating him, that panel, you see the emotion in her eyes and said, we do this again tomorrow. You can almost see like the tears welling up in her eyes. And in that panel, you can see that's where Kurokiba took interest and gained respect for her. Because though he could beat her, she still was a challenge for him. And given his background in that pub that he grew up cooking in, he always had to fight for respect. So you gotta respect that man on that. And it's almost like he knew what she was thinking. He's like this. You know something? You ain't got to tell me twice. I ain't gonna lose. Because Soma already defeated her. Let's not get that shit twisted. Also, he's using that resistant film. And it's a strong film. When I was in the kitchens, we had a dish called papillote. They had that resistant film that you could use for it. Or you could use like parchment paper to wrap your fish in. So he's leaning towards a more Italian approach with this dish, using a French technique, and I thought that was amazing. And you gotta love how in Shokugeki no Soma, it's almost like fighting manga fashion. He's like, with this technique, I'm winning, hands down. But it's a cooking technique, so that's epic. Erina was the one that pointed that out right off the back. Because of his time with Alice using molecular gastronomy, he has a little bit of her techniques etched into his soul as a cook. And you gotta understand, with that rough fisherman style pub cooking that he grew up doing, along with the molecular gastronomy, turns it into something very epic. And I actually cannot wait to see what his dish is gonna be. Then you got at least Alice standing there with that pride. I ain't gonna lie, truthfully, I want Kurokiba to win. I do. I'm rooting for Kurokiba. Soma's my dude, hands down, because I love that last minute, I got this factor that Soma always brings to the table. Or just the idea of like, Soma works down to the very last minute and you never know what he's gonna do. But I really rooting for Kurokiba on this one. And then the chapter ends with Kurokiba filleting his pike. Now, I really love this chapter. We got a small, quick flashback with Soma, and we got the backstory. A small, perfectly put backstory with Alice and Kurokiba. For the next chapter, I believe that They're going to showcase what each cook is doing, and this chapter was definitely hands down about Kurokiba. I believe the next chapter is going to showcase what my man Akira can do. Now, the epic thing about that, we all know that his sense of smell is epic. And it's like, I can't even. I would like to see a backstory with him. I would like to see how he grew up and what were his inspirations with cooking. So that would be cool to see next chapter if they walk us through each character's background story. We already know Yakahira's. We already know Soma's. So it was good to see Kurokiba's backstory, and I'd like to see Hayama's backstory next chapter. That would be cool before they transition into actually plating up their dishes and putting them out. Phenomenal chapter, Shokugeki no Soma. As always, like, subscribe, comment. Oh, and one last thing. I said it last video, I'm gonna say this one. I can't wait to see her foodgasm. Leonora's foodgasm. I have to say it. I can't even. Seriously though. Like, subscribe, comment.